Hello and welcome to Sapphire Kiss and Tell, where we review just for you. And our playground jam of the day is the groovy set of women from the 70s, Sister Sledge with We Are Family. Hey, I got all my sisters with me. Okay, I won't do that again. Sorry, you guys. And I am back with another review of NBC's critically acclaimed 8-week event, The Slap. We are on week 6. Are you watching? Have you been keeping up with the drama? Or do you need your girl to catch you up? Well, that's what I'm here for. Week 6 was another epic episode dedicated to Aisha, which is Hector's wife. And drama is steady building. We are headed to trial to resolve the conflict between Harry Apostolo and Gary, Rosie, and Hugo. Okay? And in tonight's episode, we are seeing things from the perspective of Aisha. And I knew we had to get to her story because her story is so critical. I feel like that Hector is on the equator of this issue between the two parties, and Aisha is right on the other side with Rosie and Gary, and then on the polar opposite, or right on the other side, you have his family, his mother and father, and then on the polar opposite you have Harry. And so I feel like she is so close to this. And the reason that I play We Are Family as our playground jam of the day is because Aisha is right in the middle of thick of this. We open with them going over a strategy for the trial, and their fancy Greek attorney Nastalis is wanting to kind of paint a picture for them. He knows that he can pull this thing off, but what he needs is a star character witness. And what he says is he needs someone that is family, but not Greek. And that is Aisha. She is married into the family, but she's not Greek. And so he wants her to be a character witness for Harry. And we know the problem here is because she don't want to be a witness for Harry. She knows Harry is violent, and she's seen firsthand what he could do even before Hugo's incident. And so the family is sitting there, and he's telling them that she is a doctor. She's well respected in the community, and she's the one witness they need to kind of seal the deal on this thing. And so she's there, and she's kind of looking like, are you serious? Really? I don't think so. But, he's saying that, and of course the family is still kind of thinking like, okay, you got to be a team player here. And they're kind of making those snide background comments like this is just like the trip thing. And so she's kind of caught in a really awkward space. And so we see her dealing with that in today's episode. We also get to see her compassion as a physician. She's treating a young man who has an addiction and happens to be HIV positive. And so she's trying to get him to treatment. And he kind of disappears on her before she can give him the verdict. And so she's frantic. She's asking Connie and the other nurses in there to try to locate him and so they can get him some help. This happens to be Connie's last day at the clinic, and we're still kind of feeling the effects of the breakup between her and Hector. And I don't know if you really can call it a breakup. They never really crossed the line, but they got smack dab on that line. And so she's, decided to move on. And so Aisha gives her a farewell hug and, tell her that she'll give her raving reviews if she's ever needing a letter of reference. And so she's moving on. Aisha has to go to a medical convention in this episode, and so she goes to Boston. And while she's there, she runs into an old boyfriend. And they decide to have dinner. Is that ever a good idea? I mean, just sidebar. Is that ever a good idea to have an intimate dinner with your ex? Food for thought. Y'all think on that. Let me know. Let me know what y'all think about that. I don't know. But we find out in this episode that wasn't really a good idea because, you know, she's already in a really weird space with Hector and her family. And so she, you know, over dinner he says, tell me what's going on. I can tell something is wrong. I can tell something is weighing on you. And she finally kind of spills the beans about what's going on. And she says, they want me to testify as a character witness. And so he says something that I found kind of odd, but I understood the logic behind it. He says, well, you know what? To keep the peace, Aisha, just be a character witness. And I thought he was going to be really noble about it and tell her to stand her ground. And it's like, to keep the peace, just, hey, go ahead, be the character witness, and get on with the rest of your life. And I understand that logic. Is it right? No. But I understand, you know, why sacrifice yourself and the relationship you have with your husband and your children when you could just do it and get it over with. But, of course, Aisha is not feeling that. And as the night go on and as they drink the sake and they begin to hold hands, we find out a little something about Miss Aisha. She was a little wild in medical school and some old bubblings come to the surface. And to make a long story even shorter, they end back up in his hotel room about to do the rumple skins on the white sheet. And they're hot and heated and they're kissing and they're headed that way. And I'm thinking now, I've been mad at Hector all this time and you got some tendencies of your own, Aisha. Ugh. But anyway, they go to kissing and they go to wooing and they get right there to it. And then he says, give me just a minute. And while he's gone, his wedding ring falls out of his pocket. She's picking up everything. And it kind of, I didn't understand it at first. I was like, now you married, so why you got an issue with it? But she did, and so she gets out of there and they don't cross that line. And I understand, though. I guess, you know, one wrong is better than two wrongs, maybe? I don't know. Y'all tell me. So the next day, Harry picks her up. She's headed to home, and he surprises her. Before then, he meets up with his father, and he tells his father about Connie, because Connie has decided to be a witness for Rosie and Gary. Now, we know that's interesting because Connie didn't see the slap. Connie was over there in Hector's face when the slap took place, so how you going to be a witness? So Hector is thinking this is just to get back at me for breaking up with her. And so he goes to Manolis, and Manolis is such a wise patriarch. I really like Brian Cox's character because he says, look, what's done is done. Don't beat yourself up about it, but you need to get out ahead of it. And I understand that logic. You know, a person is guilty until they're caught. And he said something to that effect. So if you never get caught, you're still living with that guilt every day. If you have an affair and go 20 years without it ever being discovered, you are held captive to those 20 years. And so I get that. So he tells his son to get out ahead of it. So he goes and he picks up Anisha after the conference, and they go for a ride, and they're hugging and they're kissing and they're enjoying life. And she says, you want to tell me something? You know, something is weird. This is nice. But what, you know, why? Why are you giving me all of this attention? And finally he comes clean and tells her, it didn't go too far, but I broke it off, but it happened. And she says something, which I kind of understand. She says, what you want me to do with that? You know, you absolve yourself. You're the great Hector. And I remember in episode 1, Harry makes a toast to Hector. He says, the last good man in America. So she kind of feels like he's getting it off his chest for him. And actually he's kind of getting it off his chest because he knows that Connie is going to try to destroy him, you know, as a result by, you know, testifying to something she didn't even see. So, you know, but she's kind of mad. Aisha's pissed off. And I'm kind of thinking now, you know what you just did, okay? You know what you almost just did. So you really cannot stand in the seat of almighty judgment. But I also understand her point of why? Why are you telling me this? Why? What am I supposed to do with this? So she says, get back in the car. Let me go home and get back to my clinic and my 2 kids that need me. So they get back in the car, and before they get home, she confesses her sin. And so everything is out on the table between the 2 of them, and he's kind of driving along. And she explains to him that, you kind of saved me. I was wild in medical school. And she kind of gets everything off her chest. And the episode kind of leaves us wondering what's going to happen between them, because it seems to be that their relationship is kind of in limbo. She's clearly not happy. And he clearly is longing for something else, or he never would have gotten into that situation with Connie. So it kind of leaves us thinking that this relationship is in limbo. But one really great thing that came out of the episode is Sandy came and talked to Aisha after she got back from the medical convention. And she told her, I know the stylist was pressuring you to be a character witness, but I went to him. I explained to him why you couldn't. How one night me and Harry got into a big fight. He beat me up. I'm paraphrasing, and you had to stitch me up. I'm paraphrasing. And so, that's why. So, I applaud her courage for standing up and doing that, because she was putting Aisha in a really bad position to do that with the family. And so Aisha tells her, well, how he's not going to do it again? And she says something really funny. She says, he can't afford to. He paid dearly the last time. Now, I don't know what that means, because we saw him choke her up in episode 2. So I think he still has the propensity to do something else to her, but she seems to feel safe in the fact that he won't hurt her again. So Aisha's episode was really, really kind of strange. Left me in limbo. We go to trial next week, episode 7. We only have 2 episodes left. I hope you are watching. Please tell me you're watching. 2 episodes left, people. I need you to get in there with me. The Slap on NBC Thursday nights at 9. It's now on at 9 after the Blacklist. Really good TV. The girl is going to be here to kiss and tell, where we review just for you. Get you some joy and give some, please, and have a delicious, and I do mean delicious, super fantastic day. Thank you.